In the land of Talaris, in Sunport City, a group of adventurers prepare to do battle with a powerful foe. A lone figure stands atop a massive column of water in the ocean, ripping apart the very fabric of the material plane for a purpose as yet unknown. The elemental plane of water, home to untold horrors and beings beyond comprehension, is threatening to burst forth into our world. When last we left the party, Gormer and Ozzy had managed to begin making their way up the water column towards the perpetrator. Pacifica and Stitch were picked up by Pacifica's mother and being carried towards the fray. Barakiel and Yannick were in a boat, attempting to strike the mad mage from a distance. Their singular goal is to stop this foul ritual before its completion. Can our heroes stop this madness in time? Or will the material plane become host to the denizens of the water plane? Only time will tell.
And we're back. All right.
Hello.
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 All right. Welcome, everyone.
Howdy.
Good to be back.
Yeah. Feels like it's been such a long time.
Feels like it's been almost 2 weeks.
Almost. All right. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to Session 4, Episode 5. Of Forever DM No More, an actual play Dungeons & Dragons live stream brought to you by myself and these lovely people on your screen. If you're just tuning in for the first time, please go ahead and jump over to Twitter, follow all the names you see on the screen, and then be sure to catch the videos of our previous games on YouTube on the Friendly Dungeon Master channel. Tonight, we do not have one of our party members, DeForest. Will hopefully be back with us again soon, but we will carry on without him. We miss you, buddy. Hope to see you back soon. Last week, I was unable to make the game, so instead there was a very nice DM discussion roundtable with Hannah, JJ, and Chris, and that was pretty cool. I got to see a chunk of it. But if you haven't seen it yet, you can go back to our Twitch videos archive and check it out. Got a lot of good info, a lot of in-depth discussion on different things that Dungeon Masters kind of deal with and decisions we have to make. That will be uploaded to YouTube soon, along with the episode that you're watching now or not watching if you're watching it later on YouTube. That's a thing. Now, does anyone else have any other announcements? Anything you would like to plug? Anything before we jump back into the recap?
I'm ready to rock and roll. I don't know about anybody else.
Me too.
Yes.
Alrighty then. So, let's get this show going. As we left off, the party had been searching for information on some portals being opened to the elemental plane of water. They had discovered a bit of info in Sunport City, but nothing really concrete, and were beginning to gather back at the Seafoam Inn when they all noticed a massive storm over the ocean. As lightning cracked and thunder boomed, you all saw a huge column of water coming up out of the waves, and atop it, a singular figure who was apparently ripping a hole in the fabric of the planes using some unknown magic. Behind the portal, you could see a gigantic tentacle floating, just waiting to push through once the portal was complete. The party leapt into action, joined by Raimo and Guili, the interplanar plumbers, and Pacifica's mother arrived in giant eagle form and swept down and picked up her and Stitch and Bjorn, and was carrying them along with some other druids from the Shadespeak to offer their aid towards the battle. Ozzy and Gormer decided to risk life and limb by going straight up through the water spout, managing to hold on to one another and keep your place as you rocketed up towards the sky and your quarry. Barakiel and Yannick both took crossbow shots at the elf, but missed the marks. And that is where we rejoin the party, as you are attempting to stop this ritual from happening. So, Ozzy, you and Gormer are
not good.
Are firing up through this column, and water is filling your nostrils and your ears, and everything around you is just the sound of torrential water rushing past. The rest of you, well, except for Pacifica and Stitch, you guys didn't see Ozzy and Gormer go into the spout, but you do notice they're not with the rest of the party, as you are kind of being skimmed along the top of the water. Yannick and Barakiel, however, you did see the two of them disappear into this water spout and are flying up. And it is as those two begin to crest the top of the spout, nearing the feet of this individual, that everything slows. Everything around you, the sounds, your vision, everything begins to just warp ever so slightly and begin to just slow to a crawl. Even your heartbeat sounds slowed. And Ozzy, as you are kind of, your head is beginning to peek over the top of this column of water, you see the shimmer of the portal, where it was a rapid, like, kind of vibrant light, just kind of has begun to slow dramatically. And as you watch, it gets slower and slower until everything stops. Yannick, Barakiel, you are releasing 2 more crossbow bolts, 1 for each of you, and you see them leave the crossbows and stop in midair. You can still move, but it's like moving through molasses, but there's no resistance. It's just massively slowed down. Pacifica, sorry. it's been 2 weeks. Pacifica, Stitch, as you guys are flying over the water, you can see, you can hear the flapping of the wings of the eagle that carries you. You get slower and slower until nothing, and you are suspended in midair. A brief second, and you all feel as if you are being pulled from every direction. There's no pain. It doesn't hurt. But it is a sensation of your very essence just being pulled in every direction at once. Up, down, sideways. It's impossible to discern an origin for this. And it's panic-inducing. It's sourceless. And everything begins to fade. There is no light. There is no sound. You are no longer being pulled. You now float, weightless, in a vacuum, devoid of anything other than your compatriots.
Sorry, guys.
No sound.
I think
You move your mouth, nothing comes out. And then you all feel this
Thank
jolt.
God, Ozzy can't talk.
You all feel this jolt. You are gathered on a small couch in a cafe. It's your favorite cafe. You've been here many times. It's been a long day of work at your various jobs. Brachial.
Is Stitch still a cat man?
Oh yeah, yeah. But Stitch has always been a Catman. Nothing is different. Nothing is new. Nothing is weird. Brachial.
Is this Central Perk?
No. It's called Shakes
Shakes.
instead of Jitters. It's your favorite cafe. You've been here every day after work, all of you. Gormer's running late. He has a lot on his plate these days, with running the herbal remedies shop and working with Pacifica at her charity organization. Brachial. It was a bit of a rough day on the beat. Captain came down kind of hard for an arrest you made a few weeks ago. Might be disciplinary action, you're not sure yet, but it's been a little rough. Stitch. Stock market's being weird, man. It's there are days where you miss the Coast Guard. This is one of them. But you're with your friends, and you're all kind of hanging out. Ozzy, you are still annoyed by the massive amount of NDAs that you work with and you can't even tell your friends where you work. All they know is it's a video game company. That's all they know.
Oh, good. I'm not homeless.
No, everything is it's very very secretive. Everything is very secretive. Yeah, it's just been a long day, and you guys are sitting and you're all discussing today a new book that just came out, and it's a new fantasy novel that you've all been reading. You've all kind of just plowed through, and it's an up-and-coming author, fairly unknown at this point, but you're all in love with it, and the title of it is Osiria Unmade. And the characters are fascinating. You each identify with characters in the books. Ozzy strongly identifies with Chris.
Good.
And,
Continue.
Brachial, you feel a strong connection to Ed. And Pacifica with the character Hannah. She just kind of seems to fall in line with your own personal beliefs. Stitch, you're a big fan of this JJ character. He seems a little shady, but you kind of dig it. Reminds you of some of the shit you pulled back in the Coast Guard. And Yannick, you're a fan of sorry, air bubbles. Of Quentin. You both, especially with your volunteer work at the local cemetery, you feel a connection there. And you've all read these characters, and you feel as if you've lived these adventures that they've been having. But the book ended on a cliffhanger. The group had just made it to what seemed like the final battle of this journey. And it's going to be an ongoing series, and it's going to be very, George R.R. Martin-esque, where you're going to have to wait a while for the next book to come out, and so you can find out what happens when they confront the person creating portals into the elemental plane of water. It's frustrating. But I guess you'll just have to talk about the book amongst yourselves until the next one releases.
Before I do that, I want to check the contents of my wallet.
Everything is there. Your driver's license is there. I do want to clarify here. This is all normal. Actually, no, not yet. Yep, everything is normal. This is just another day.
Am I still able to cast spells?
You wouldn't even think to. You don't have spells.
Just a regular
guy. I mean,
right.
you are still like yourself.
I'll call over the barista and get him to bring me a donut and a...
Yeah. Right away.
So how about that
Where's
book,
that
guys?
accent from? Oh no, it was a bit far-fetched for me.
I feel like we started our own little book club, and I think that we should, I think Bjorn should be our mascot, and she goes and pats her service dog in his service vest.
Yep.
And I think we
Break the
should,
donut in half and give Bjorn half.
Bjorn eats it. He's a fat dog right now.
Yeah. As per usual.
Yeah.
My dog's gonna end up the fattest dog in the sports competition.
So, out of character, are we essentially providing input for how the rest of the story should be?
Out of character?
Yeah, out of character.
In a way. I don't want to.
All right.
You can feel free to speculate on how you think the next book will be, and what you think will be what it will be about, and yeah.
Yeah, I really, Baragil looks up and says, I really wasn't a fan of all the romance side plots going on. Like, some of them just weren't believable.
You consider whores romance?
That's not what I was talking about.
Oh.
Yeah. I was clearly talking about the Pacifica Gorma. No, what is it? The Hannah, the forest. Yeah, that was clearly going somewhere.
A lot of subtext there.
Yeah, there's a lot of subtext. Like, maybe you guys didn't read into it as much as I, but I've made some notes.
Well, maybe you made it.
And yeah, Barricade pulls out his book and shows all the carefully noted book. See, as you can see, the way that Hannah said this line, clearly it's implying the term.
I have a question. Are they like your OTP?
No. All I'm saying
so.
is that's where this is going.
Okay,
I think so.
Out of game. What is OTP?
One true pairing.
Oh, okay. All right. Back in.
No, that's clearly where it's going. Like, it's subtle, but it's there. It's not boring and obvious like the Ed Chris one. That's clearly going somewhere as well. They start as enemies.
I don't think that's. I think they're gonna end up like a weird duo that like ride off into the sunset together, and then as they're riding off, Chris falls off his pony. And
is that the sex act we're calling it now? Is called falling off the pony?
I'm actually familiar
That's
with
new
it.
to me. That's new to me. Falling off the pony.
It only happens.
Why am I the small one in this? This is weird. When I was just... It's like a bad acid trip. You would have sworn I lived it or something.
So, anywho, how the story should go. I think it'd be kind of cool if they got sucked into the portal and figured out where this is all originating from.
What if they can never get back out, though?
I don't know.
It's all part of the
magic, and he does the wobbly hands. Magic.
Oh well. Okay.
The door opens both ways. It can open. They go in. They can open. They can come out.
But if the guy that's opening the portal is on the outside, why would they need to go in?
I don't know.
Yannick.
I don't know.
It's about this time that your phone dings.
No.
It's a text message. It's a text message.
Oh.
And
message.
it's informing you that your Your tenure has come through.
Oh, nice.
You are
I can get
officially
Drinks on you.
a tenured philosophy professor at the local college. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Something you've been working for a long time.
I have been. It is it's been a long time, but you know, honestly, I think all the time watching PBS and sitting here and talking with you guys has really centered me and really focused me on my dissertation. And I appreciate you all, and I'll buy you all a round of whatever you're drinking and or eating, and I'll even get Bjorn something.
Oh, that's so nice.
I am a nice person.
Congratulations.
Well, I'm tenured now. I have money.
So you can finally pay me back for the weed I gave you.
Don't say that out loud.
Yeah, not in front of the cop.
It's legal.
God. Oh, okay.
I got it from you.
Definitely don't say that in front of a cop.
Pacifica,
Yeah.
as Yannick motions for the server to come over, Bjorn kind of stumbles back and trips her, and the plate of food and drink she is carrying kind of starts to tip forward, and you all see it and instinctively reach out, and everything slows. You see the tray askew, the mugs falling over, the liquid inside kind of spilling out, just little droplets like they're suspended in space. You all feel this pulling sensation from every direction at once. And then everything goes dark. And you are floating, weightless, sightless. There's no sound. And then you feel a jolt as you are still floating, but you can move around freely, and you see Gormer off to the side, kind of looking as bewildered as the rest of you. Then darkness, silence. I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
It's an 11 for me.
19.
We're going to go in order.
Okay.
So just keep your number.
3. 7.
Is that everybody?
7 for me.
Okay. So, below 10, you remember nothing. Who got 11 to 13? Okay. Stitch. Something is off. You feel normal, just a little weird. You have these flashes in your head, like those of a dream, giving you the impression of sitting in a strange shop with everyone else, and everyone was dressed very strangely, but it's hard to remember much else. 14 to 20.
I got 14, 20. I got 19.
Okay. So the two of you remember being in a strange place, much like Stitch, but your memories are vivid, but disconnected. It feels like it happened to someone else. It was you, but it wasn't you. But you remember the conversation. You remember the book. You remember Gormer not being there. And no one got above a 20, correct? That was everybody?
Man, it's bad skooma. That's what the skooma does. It sits on your brain, comes back.
You are thrust forward once again. And as you look around, the first thing you notice is it is bright. And there is nothing around you but sand and dust, stretching as far as you can see. The only break in the horizon are these small dunes in the distance. There are no people, there are no buildings, there are no vehicles. You're all dressed in tattered furs and look as though you've lived outside in the sun for the majority of your lives. And in fact, you have. This is normal. This is your life. This is your world. You grew up here. You have been sent by the chief of your clan to scout for water. Pacifica, you know this. These are you remember growing up here, being a child, running through the sand with your parents and your brothers and sisters. Not biological, maybe some of them, but the clan is very much open. There's not a real hierarchy except for the elder, the chief. And she has sent you out on this mission. It's the first time that your group, chosen for your special talents and abilities, have been sent out to scout for water. It's the first time in your lives that you can remember not having fresh water. Pacifica, you can create water, but it's not enough. It's not enough to sustain. If that were to be the case, it would be all you would do for the rest of your life. Every day, using all of your energy to provide clean water for the entire clan. Some 150 people. You know that you have been sent out to find fresh water, and you have been given a secretive, ancient device by the chief. It is known as a grin, and it is a square, a rectangular device made of some ancient material, and the front of it is almost clear, but there's a picture on it, and this picture is a little blue triangle, and all around the little blue triangle you can see where roads used to be, and you can see where bodies of water used to be. Most of them have been tapped out at this point, but you know that there's one that your clan has not explored, and that's the one you've been sent to find. And you can see on this device, most of it is scratched out, but you can see the letters G-R-I-N. It's the grin.
So, as they're trekking through the sand, Pacifica would have sent Bjorn ahead, probably looking a little more shabby than he normally does. Fur is a lot more patchy from being a dog with thick fur trying to live in a sandy area. And essentially he's adapted to trying to be a tracking dog.
Okay.
And that's what she's hoping for.
Okay.
But she's trying to go off of what she can see on this artifact to try to find said water. And since she's the one who has it, she's kind of trying to lead the group on. But at every decision, she's asking for some sort of opinion or confirmation, because Pacifica is not a leader. But they are going through the sand to find this water.
Okay. You do know that you're in a bit of a hurry. Rival clans are also scouting for water. They do not know of your clan's device. You have a leg up on them. But whoever gets there first, following the ancient treaty of Finders Keepers, once the claim is staked, it is honored. So Barakiel actually carries the flag that is your clan's colors. And so you know, once you get there and you find this, then you can stake your claim and the treaty will be honored. There's been no warfare since as long as anyone can remember. There's no violence between clans. Your chief has expressly forbidden you from inciting violence, knowing the tendencies of some of the group. The clan cannot afford outright war with any rivals. So, you are moving forward. You're sending Bjorn ahead. I would say go ahead and make a perception check for Bjorn. Perception. We'll do perception.
Bjorn, don't let me down, son. Oh, Bjorn, he rolled an 8.
8.
An 8.
He's moving forward and, kind of sniffing the sand. A little gets into his snout and, kind of trying to paw it out and just putting more sand on it because his paws are covered in sand. That's what my dog does at the beach. But, he doesn't seem to be finding anything yet, but you're following the little navigational arrow on the grin and just kind of following along towards it. It takes you guys probably a couple of hours before you reach the spot that's been marked. And as you kind of crest over a dune, you see... you see sand. You see more sand. You know that fresh water is no longer on the surface. You will have to dig for it. You are all equipped with spades.
I was going to say, yeah, Barakil will pull his large two-handed spade from strapped across his shoulder.
Yep.
And he'll wait for Pacifica to point to where the sand is. Sorry, where the water is. The sand's everywhere.
The sand is everywhere.
It's supposed to be down there.
Yeah, and he'll flex his somehow still
you're not
burning.
Quite there yet.
Oh,
no, it's kind of over the rise and in this little dip, but you can see across the way. I'll have Pacifica and who would be Barakiel. And who would be with them? Anybody?
I thought we were all together.
I'll be with them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, everybody. Make a perception check.
Nine for me.
What the heck?
That will be a natural 1.
11.
Okay.
10.
Okay. It wasn't a high DC. Natural 1, not so much. A little sand gets in your eyes.
18.
Barakiel, you see this and kind of pointed out to the rest of the group. You see a cloud of sand and dust kind of being spun up by what you know to be a rival clan. The Whelans. You're familiar with the Whelans. They've been a rival.
As soon as I see this, I will start trekking as fast as I can across the sand to stick my claim in as I'm holding the flag. I can roll athletics.
We'll get there. Yep, we'll get there.
Sprinting.
So the Whelans, you guys would all know, are considered somewhat of heretics among the other clans. They were the first to find some of the ancient technology and adapt it for their own purposes. In defiance of the will of nature, the Whelan brothers, 4 Whelan, 3 Whelan, 2 Whelan, Free Whelan,
God,
Big Whelan, and Hot Whelan have spotted you and are moving to intercept. And we will now begin our skill challenge. So, the way this works, I will pull up the PDF so I don't screw it up and Patrick doesn't yell at me. Basically, the way this goes, and as a note, the rules for the skill challenge are available to download on the DM's Guild, created by Patrick Tracy, aka the Goddamn DM. If anybody who's watching this wants to check it out, yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, basically, how this goes is I will describe the problems that need to be solved, and you each pick a skill. And we roll for it, and I will set the DC, and depending on how you roll, it will determine whether you succeed or fail. And then we'll play that out. So, you can use any skill that you like to begin with. Whoever goes after you cannot use the same skill that you just used. However, the third person in line can use the one that the first person used, but not the one the second one used. So it's kind of like a rolling thing. And I know there's one more.
It leapfrogs, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, making sure that I'm getting it right. So first, we'll start with Barakiel, we'll have everyone roll initiative, but Barakiel will take the lead. So, because you were the first to spot this and move. So everybody else roll initiative, please. And keep your number in your head. Oh, and you can't use the same skill back to back. That was the other thing I was forgetting. So if you use stealth once, you can't use it again when it comes to your turn. You has to skip a person. Or has to skip you for that particular skill. So it's designed to be creative and fun. So once you're done rolling initiative, let me know.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, Barakiel, you didn't need to roll.
Oh.
Yeah, but thank you. Because, like I said, you were the first one to spot it, and you were the first one to take action. So we're going to put you first in the initiative order. And then, so everybody else, keep your numbers in your head. I'll just ask who's going next, and you can let me know. So, because I'm going to have a fair bit to keep track of already. So, here we go. It's going to be fun. The challenges are: the Grin is losing power. Find a way to recharge it using the skills at your disposal. The Whelans are approaching. Find a way to slow them down or obstruct their path. The water is under the ground. Find a way to get to it quickly. Sand traps are known to be prevalent in the wilderness. Find a way to navigate around them or make them a non-issue. And the last one, this is one my wife came up with, bumblebats, which are, in our world, they would just be bat heads, or, bat heads, but with, bumblebee-sized proportions, but the bat head is really big.
Jesus.
So it's like a bumblebee that can't, you have no idea how it still flies, but it does. And they do have stingers. Are swarming. Sensing prey they are moving in to attack. Get rid of them. So, you have 3 successes that you need, and 2 failures that you're allowed. Consequences for failure will be denoted later if you do fail. So let's go. Barakiel, what skill would you like to use to attack which problem?
So, I will use athletics to try and use my speed and agility to get to the point where the water is first and start digging down to it with the flag planted next to me.
Okay.
To try and ward off the Whelan.
Okay. So go ahead and make your athletics check.
16.
All right, that'll do it. So 1 success. Barakiel just begins sprinting towards this. You don't quite get there just yet, but you are definitely ahead of the Whelans. You are making very good progress. They're a little slower. The tires of their contraptions are kind of spinning in the deep, like almost sugar sand that you find on a lot of lake beaches. It's like very fine, and it's just spinning behind them, and they're having a little bit of difficulty kind of maneuvering around it. So they've actually hopped off and are starting to move on foot towards you, but you've got a really good lead on them. Who is up next?
I rolled a 22 for initiative.
Then
Did anyone roll higher than that?
Next.
Okay,
All right.
So Pacifica
You
would like to
cannot
try
use
to
athletics.
use... Not that she would. She'd like to actually try to use animal handling to ward away the bumblebats.
All right. I totally am going to make a monster stat sheet for bumblebats, by the way, because that's just too good.
My girl rolled an 18.
Nice. That will succeed. Damn, you guys might finish this real quick. Yeah, nicely done. You kind of come up to them just very calmly and just use.
No, it's like Chris Pratt.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And they kind of like go from these high pitched squeaks that they're letting out rapidly to kind of more subdued squeaks, and they begin to kind of meander off. Do you direct them anywhere, or just to get away?
She low key points at the other guys.
At the Whelans?
Yeah, she's just like.
Yeah, and they kind of begin maneuvering that direction, and you see Hot Wheeling, who was in the lead, start to like see this, and a little fear creeps in, and he starts like scrambling back to his wheeled contraption in the background, trying to get back to it. Freewheeling is still booking it, but Hot Wheeling has been taken care of. Who was next? 2 successes.
I rolled a 12. What'd you roll, Chris?
I rolled a 4.
Okay. So Stitch,
I'm last.
you cannot use animal handling.
All right. I'm going to use intimidation on freewheeling to kind of scare him into backing off and to stay away from what we're doing.
Okay, what do you do to intimidate him?
I'm going to scream as loud as I can and say, back off, it's our claim, not yours.
All right, roll that.
Sure, I got a D20 here. That is a 17.
Damn, nicely done. Yeah. This mangy, patchy tabaxi, which the name of what you are has been lost to time, but cat person, just this feral snarl yell comes out, and you guys have seen Stitch like this before, but it is terrifying. The fur stands up on the back of his neck. His tail kind of puffs out. Does Stitch have a tail? Actually, I don't think we ever established that.
He does.
Okay, yeah.
Is it like a
Tail
little stub
puffs out.
tail?
There's a bandage on the end of it.
Yes! All right. And, Freewheeling just, like, begins to backpedal immediately and just kind of shouts across the way, like, "You guys are fucking crazy!" And just takes off. Wow. Yeah, I did not expect 3 successes in a row. Congratulations, guys. That was fantastic. Barakiel, you make it to where Pacifica pointed to, plant the flag, and begin digging. Who is joining Barakiel in the digging?
I'll join him.
Okay.
So will I.
All right. So you guys all good?
I'll roll an insight check to see if anyone else is headed this way.
Okay.
That's what I'll do.
Sure.
That's a natural 1.
Nope. All alone.
You're not rolling well today.
No,
I'm not.
Get that out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
You are all alone, other than your party, your family. your clan. And it takes you guys the better part of about 45 minutes or so. But working with all of you, you manage to dig down, and sure enough, the grin at this point fades. It has lost power. However, you do strike water. And as you continue digging, you realize that this is a massive source of water. And it should be enough for the clan to survive off of for many years. And so your claim is staked. The ancient treaty of Finders Keepers is upheld. And you have the information of where this water supply is, and you know that your clan can now move water from this location back to your home bunker. And secure in that knowledge, you all refill your canteens and flasks and the jugs that you were given, and begin making your way back to the bunker and to the chief with news of your success. As you're walking along, Pacifica, who has does anyone have a passive perception? I should have these up. I need to make a document for that. Passive perception of greater than 18.
Cool.
No.
15.
Nope.
I do.
16.
Okay, so
I got 16.
the three of you, Yannick, you see out of the corner of your eye just a brief flicker of a humanoid-ish form. It's furry and almost not quite bovine, not quite lupine in its facial features, and it turns to look at the rest of you and looks like it's trying to say something, and the form flashes out. The other two, you guys notice Gormer, who you remember now, and it just now hits you. Gormer's not present. But who? The memories begin to collide in your head. Memories of two different lives because of your roles earlier. You remember these things of a life with Gormer and of this life where he is not present. And the juxtaposition kind of stuns you for a moment, and the flash is gone. And it's about this time that Ozzy, as you're walking along, just kind of shuffling, it's hot, and you raise the canteen up to your face and begin to take a drink.
Itch.
You go to scratch your balls while taking a swig from the canteen. And
sticking to my leg.
As you raise the canteen, the water comes out and begins to slow. And right before it touches your lips, it stops. All the rest of you see time once again begin to slow, and you feel, for two of you, it's a familiar feeling. Well, for three of you, because Ozzy, I believe, was it Ozzy that rolled?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, you immediately is like, oh, fuck. Because on a very base level, almost subconscious level, you understand that this has happened before, and it's happening again. Stitch and Pacifica immediately are like, fuck, it is happening again. And just as before, time slows, then stops. Darkness, silence, nothing. You see no one. And then you're thrust forward, and you see in the distance fantastic cities of glass spires just rising into the air, held aloft by nothing. You see machines larger than belief kind of tracking between these cities, and you see people of all shapes and sizes flying through the air with devices strapped to their backs, and just maneuvering around. And then it flashes again, and you see a cracked and broken landscape before you, just fire and magma as far as you can see. Another flash, and you see huge metallic beasts grazing on what look like stalks of iron rods, just munching them as a cow would munch grass. Another flash, and you all inhabit bodies that are biomechanical, one part flesh, one part circuitry. Another flash. I need everyone to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh boy.
Told you it was gonna get weird.
18.
All right.
12.
22. Natural 20, by the way.
Nice. What was the other?
12.
12. Okay.
4.
Okay. And Barakiel?
12.
Okay. Okay. So everyone but Stitch this time, which is kind of sad because I put one of those in there specifically for Stitch, but that's okay. You get the flashes. Again, it's like a dream, but you do remember from before a very similar sensation. The rest of you find yourself standing in the center of Sunport City. It's another normal day, but you remember what just happened. All of the memories kind of coalesce in your minds of living these lives. It's like a dream that you have where it's so vivid and you live out an entire lifetime, it feels, and then you wake up and it's hard to discern which is the dream and which is reality for a moment. It's like that, but perpetual. It takes you all a moment to focus. And this feels real.
As soon as I get back to my senses, I'm gonna grab someone passing by and demand that they the time and day.
Okay. Give me just a second. The time and
Bear in
day.
mind, I as a player do not know what time and day
I'll tell you.
it last happened.
Yep.
We last remember.
The day is Racha, which would be the equivalent of a Wednesday of the month of Kilat. It is the 15th, and it's around noon. Which,
and
before all of this happened, was the same day that you all arrived in Sunport City the first time. You have been sent by Fourth Keeper Elena Raced to search for an old associate of hers, Perrin Yaitara. She has handpicked Perrin Yaitara as her successor to the title of Fourth Keeper, but Yaitara has not been heard from in a while. She was last seen in Sunport City. You all have been sent as initiates to the Flame Keepers to find her.
That's not the same thing we were doing earlier.
Sure it is. Part of you thinks so, anyway.
Is Gormer there or is he gone?
I was about to say who, but you remember. So, no, Gormer is not there. And again, a part of you instinctively is like, who's that?
Okay.
Well, while we're here, I might as well go to that armor and get them to make sure my commissions are properly. I think I remember him needing my measurements still.
Well, as initiates, we should probably
You froze. Oh no. You froze there for a second.
Excuse me. Pacifica said, as initiatives, we should do the job that we were sent to do.
Yes, you are quite right. I shall secure us room and board for the evening, whilst you all start to find leads for the where Per and Yatara might be.
Okay. So you head towards the Seafoam Inn, or the Sea Spray Inn.
Mm.
And once again, like, the name seems off, but you can't figure out why. It's just weird.
Have I ever been to Sunport City before?
It feels like you have. There's
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a pervasive sense of deja vu. And instinctively, you kind of look out to the ocean, and it's calm. Nothing weird. Nothing strange. Everything seems strange, but nothing is. You enter the Sea Spray Inn, and immediately a red-skinned woman wearing fairly revealing clothing with horns and bright golden eyes with a ruby choker grabs you. And
I throw her to the ground.
yes!
Immediately.
I love it. So, I would like you...
Brackle, we gotta talk about your anger and hookers.
I would like...
This is
Hey, someone just grabbed me.
To make an athletics check
I paid her to do that.
versus her acrobatics. Oh, that's gonna fail.
I rolled a 25.
Yeah, she fails. Handily.
So,
You
yeah, I
immediately
throw
just,
her to the ground and immediately drop, like, my arm barring across her throat, and, like, quick as a flash, like, I pull a, like, large knife out and hold it to her throat.
Oh,
Stop!
tits.
Stop! Barakiel. I know you.
How do you know my name?
We've met before. Haven't we?
This is my first time
But
in Sunport.
But it's not. Think. Where is the rest of your party?
How do you know me? And, like, I press the knife closer, so, like, it draws, like, a bead of blood.
Try to remember. You came here a few weeks ago looking for someone who was creating portals. I assisted you when you were in need.
I have never been here before. And, like, I look her straight in the eye, and I cast command, and I command her to tell me everything.
What's the save on that?
DC 12. Just like, I think DC 12 wisdom.
Okay. So, to tell you...
To tell me the truth.
I am telling you the truth. You came looking for someone who was creating portals. You, Ozzy, Pacifica, Stitch, Yannick, and Gormer.
Is any of this resonating with me? Or...
I was, at this point, like that kind of itch in the back of your head that something's not quite right begins to blossom, and it's at this point that you start seeing the flashes again of the things that have transpired over the past few minutes, it seems. it simultaneously feels like a lifetime, multiple lifetimes, and an instant. You guys all heard Desira hit the floor because you were like right outside.
Yeah, I was going to say, like,
so,
as soon as
like, you're
as
hearing
soon
some
as she
of
says this to my command, I'll like pick her up, like by the scruff of her clothing.
Pick her up by her cleavage. Yeah.
Whoa! Nobody likes being picked up by their cleavage.
Well, I'd probably put like
don't kink
my huge meaty hand around both of her wrists and like drag her towards the bar, and like my head's like spinning and I'm like stumbling, but like my grip on her wrist is like iron, and I like pull out a handful of gold, throw it onto the bar, and say, "A key for your room."
Okay. The bartender, a black-scaled dragonborn, kind of very muscular and beefy, has been kind of eyeing you since this happened, and you can see a hand under the bar, like he's been reaching for a weapon or something, and he kind of looks to the tiefling, and she nods, and all right.
So yeah, I put the knife in my teeth because I only have two hands. Take the key. And then, like, swap the knife and the key over, and then like, drag her upstairs.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing? You've heard some of this commotion and Brachial kind of angrily shouting indiscernibly.
I'll walk in.
Yeah, I think they'd probably go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really disturbed that he's beaten up on Desira.
Do we know that's... I mean, do I recognize her, the woman he's dragging up the stairs?
At this point, so Pacifica. Well, yeah, Stitch, yes, you would, because once again, you rolled high enough in your very first roll. Essentially, like, once the circle is complete, your initial roll kind of kicks in. And you remember flashes of everything. Some of it is more vivid than others, but you definitely remember coming here before and all that transpired. You remember your last moments here were racing towards a massive hole in the sky in the clutches of a giant eagle, and to be here when it's calm, just a normal day. It's a little off-putting, but it feels normal.
So I'll yell out to
all of you are feeling this.
So I'll yell out to Brachial, "Hey, what's your intentions with her? What are you doing with her?"
Like, have you come into the?
They came in like just to see you, like, leading her up the stairs.
I yell out, "This is not how you have sex with a hooker, Brachial. This is not it."
I'll give Ozzy a dirty look, and then pass Desira the key and tell her to wait in the room.
All right.
And then I'll look at the party and say, doesn't this all feel strange to you?
There is definitely some weird shit going on, but is your intent to question the tiefling woman?
How did she know us? We have never been here before.
What do you mean she knew us?
You guys all now remember flashes again, almost like a dream.
Yeah, like is it like weird dream, like head spinning flashes? Yeah, like Braggill's like leaning heavily on the wall, like she knew us.
Like Stitch,
I had a
I should
dream about her.
I should clarify. Stitch and Pacifica, you guys remember everything. Like, it is all real to you guys. Everyone else is like flashes, but for you guys, you experienced all of this within a few moments, lifetimes in moments. So like, it's all kind of just colliding. Like,
So
you remember. You know.
Can I just ask, from Brackel's memory, like Stitch and Pacifica haven't mentioned any of this on our journey to Sunport.
Just give me a moment. So now that it's being brought up, Pacifica's like, wait, I'm not the only one? You guys... So...
What do you remember?
A lot of stuff that doesn't feel right. Like, we were, like, all digging in sand and then, like, uncovered a lake. And then we were in some, and she looks around and she's just like, she knows she sounds crazy, so she drops her voice. And she's like...
Brackel, like, when you're starting to sound weird, he'll be like, come to the room. This isn't for the public. And like,
bartender's just kind of leaning back, just these beefy arms.
and Brackel will give him a look, like he'll like look at like the gold coins still on the the counter, then look up at him and be like, when we are gone, we were never here. And then, like, beckon everyone upstairs.
He just puts one giant clawed hand out on the table and kind of scrapes the coins into the till. And goes back to wiping down a glass. As all bartenders are doing when you enter the bar.
God. That's a real dirty rag as well,
Yeah,
so
it
it's
is,
just
yeah.
not doing
No,
anything.
actually, he is very clean.
Oh, okay.
You remember the previous bartender, like, the one you dreamed about, was not.
I'll like beckon everyone upstairs
You all
and then
follow?
like stumble
before
towards
we
the
do
room.
that, I'm gonna walk up to the bartender and I'll be like, "Do you remember us?"
Nah.
And does the name Taysir mean anything to you?
You mean Mayor Taysir?
Oh, a lot's changed.
Taysir's been mayor ever since, damn, he's been mayor for a hell of a long time.
All right.
Quite disturbing.
So I'll follow upstairs and
Best damn man I know.
I'll let Ozzy and Pacifica know that bit of information. That the last time we were here, hey, that guy Taysir is now mayor.
But you already knew that.
Yeah, he's always been mayor.
Oh wow.
Are you, no? Yeah? No?
And yes,
Yes.
you remember both.
Okay. I would like to look at my cards.
Okay.
Are they different than what I think?
No.
Okay, I have to ask you guys.
I'm going to insight myself and go,
my
is my
God.
brain acting weird?
So
I'm gonna roll on
Ozzy takes a moment to kind of self-reflect.
Okay. I'm using Tides of Chaos because that was a terrible roll. Okay, that is a 17.
17. What exactly are you checking for?
I'm checking to see, like, I'm obviously having double memories of things in various lives.
Mhm.
And I'm looking for, like, which one feels the most out of place or which one feels the most, like, succinct and real.
Okay.
like the Rick and Morty episode where like one has like all the good memories, and if you don't have any bad memories with me, like you're the parasite.
Okay.
I'm looking for like.
All right.
You're looking for the.
Yeah.
Oh, what was he?
Like,
what was
which
he
one
called?
is Brachial the least amount of asshole? Because that's probably the fake one.
As you kind of fall into your own memories, you are met with a tidal wave of threads to follow. You pick one, and it leads you down a lifetime of farm work, working with your hands, your family beside you, a proud father, a good harvest.
Well, that's not the real one. Proud father.
Yep.
I mean,
that's fake.
There were
That's fake.
there were difficulties, but it feels absolutely real. Another one. Fantastical city of glass and metal, beautifully constructed. And you remember as a child riding up to the central palace and being invited to spend the day with your mother, the vizier, and again, there were difficulties, but it feels real. Every single thread that you follow feels like an actual life that you've lived, and this one feels the same.
Well, friends, I think I'm crazy.
Well,
Are you
maybe
guys
not.
are you guys in the room with Desira yet, or the tiefling woman? That some of
I
you
have a
remember
plan.
as Desira.
I think I'm just gonna start killing people until the Matrix turns off. This feels. I'm looking around, and I'm surmising that I'm gonna go into the square and start murdering people because this is insane.
Only the faceless NPCs that don't have.
Yeah.
No, the ones with like boy over their head, not actual real names, because they'll just go unconscious when you kill them.
So I'll enter the room with Desira, and I'll kind of poke my head back out the door, and I say, "Give me 5 minutes. We'll figure this out."
And as soon as you enter, she grabs you. Stitch, do you remember?
I do.
We had a night. Oh, we had a night. I remember.
Yeah, that was
I
a
cleaned
little
all
bit.
the pots and pans. Fixed your collar.
That night was a little bit fuzzy, but we'll get back to that. So
You did things
And
with
I'll-
that tail.
oh boy, and the
Ooh.
finger. Remember the finger?
How could I forget? And it seems that some of your party has forgotten.
So how do we fix that? Because it seems like there's a few people outside going a little crazy.
Everyone's
going
gone
on?
crazy. I thought I was the only one. But then I met a man who was experiencing the same things that I was. We were affected, but it feels like I've lived multiple lifetimes.
Yeah, that I feel that way too.
Let me take you to him. Perhaps he has some more answers than I.
Who is this man?
His name is Borel Evenwind. He's a friend. Pacifica, are you in the room?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember the name Borel Evenwind. He came to the Druids a few years ago, seeking answers to questions. You were not privy to the conversations specifically, but he and your mother developed a close relationship. And it wasn't long before the two of them were wed. Borel Evenwind has been as much of a father to you as Tesselar has been a mother. And you know him. He's a good man. He's very wise.
Okay, well then let's go. I know who he is.
He's just down the hall. We both decided to stay here when things
What
went
room?
crazy. Just down the hall, right here. And she kind of walks out and pulls out a key and knocks first. And
Pacifica kind of like looks back at the party and is just like, I know this guy.
he's your dad. Yeah.
I know him.
And you hear a deep, kind of sonorous voice. Enter. And she walks in and leaves the door open for the rest of you.
Pacifica goes in.
Okay.
I'll follow him.
Okay.
I'll go.
All right.
Yeah, Bragiel will go, but he'll on his.
Say again.
Bragiel will go in, but he'll be
Okay. All right.
any of this.
Okay.
Like he'll still be stumbling about.
Okay. As you enter, you are met with the sight of a man sitting in a chair, kind of with the back of it against the footboard of the bed, and he's just sitting kind of head bowed, dressed in a fine cloak of blue and gold, and he has a hood over his head, and his just fingers kind of steepled in front of him, just seemingly very intently focused on something. And as you guys enter, he kind of looks up and sees Pacifica first. Daughter, it has been far too long. And he stands up and embraces you.
Oh, good hug. Pacifica hugs back, but it's like, she's little.
Yeah. And he just, it's a very familiar and comforting presence, and kind of looks over his shoulder at the rest of you. Are these the friends you've written me about?
Yeah, these are my friends.
Oh, it is so wonderful to meet all of you, Stitch. And he kind of puts out a a gloved hand, and takes yours, Stitch. Do you reciprocate?
Yeah, I'll reciprocate.
Shakes your hand, and the face of this man, it's very traditionally handsome. It's a square jaw, and deep set crystal blue eyes, almost unnervingly proportional or symmetrical. Like his face looks like it was carved out of marble, but the hood kind of casts a little bit of a shadow over it. And he looks over to Yannick. Sir Yannick, it is a pleasure. I've heard so much about you. Puts out a hand.
Yannick goes in to shake it. What race is he?
He looks to be elven, based on the point of the eyebrows and the very delicate but strong features. Elves are weird to describe. They're both incredibly fragile looking, but ancient in appearance. And he definitely fits that description. And he kind of turns and looks down. Lord Osborne.
Yep. But I am so confused on what's happening.
He reaches his hand out to shake yours.
I kind of grab one finger and kind of like go up and down and then rub my cloak because I'm freaking out.
Yeah. He kind of chuckles, and then he sees Barakiel at the doorframe. Ah, the stalwart champion. Barakiel, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And he comes over and puts out a hand.
I just need to ask something, as player, because I, Ed, have a terrible. The guy on the top of the torrent.
You're cutting out.
Sorry.
That's all right. Sorry.
I was saying the guy on atop of the torrent of water.
Mm-hmm.
He was wearing a similar cloak, wasn't he?
He was wearing a traveling cloak. Just
a traveling
cloak. Brown and black leather.
Okay. Do I recognize this man from anywhere? Like, is he in my memories?
Make a history check.
History. Straight D20. Why you dice roll? 16.
16. You do not have any direct memories of this particular individual. You do have memories of Pacifica talking about him at length.
From this
Mm-hmm.
From this world?
Yep.
How about the it's
a bit fragmented, a little scattered, still kind of hard to follow those threads as well as you'd like, but you do recall some lives that you lived where Pacifica's father was very similar. Yeah. That's about as much as you'd be able to remember.
I will reach out, I will first gaze upon him with my divine sense.
Okay.
To detect the presence of undead celestial fiends, or consecrated or desecrated objects or earth.
Nope. None of that.
Nope.
Seems to be what he is.
Ozzy is gonna try and walk out.
Okay.
And I'll do a sneak roll of that's a 19.
19. Okay.
And I'm gonna walk out.
Okay.
And I'm gonna head for Sunport Square.
All right.
Like the
and
town square.
I will inadvertently Ozzy with this, because as I gaze upon him and see nothing sinister or strange, I will put my do one of those handshakes where you don't shake, you just put your hand around theirs and then keep squeezing, and then just pull him inwards, and then whisper in his ear, "This isn't right," and then sort of let him go.
Okay. So Ozzy, you are sneaking away?
I am sneaking away, and I'm heading to the town square.
Okay. Nobody appears to notice that you're gone, but Borel will, after he finishes shaking Barakiel's hand, will kind of look around. Well, this is odd, isn't it? And he's very relaxed, but still kind of a presence. But he seems very casual and jovial, even given the circumstances. He's not freaking out right now. He's very composed. And as you know, I am Borel Evenwind. I feel as though I have had many names over the past few hours, as I believe you have as well. I have some theories, but I would like to know what exactly you have experienced.
So, I guess one of us, I'll go kind of briefly reflect on where we've been and what we've gone through.
Okay.
You know, the coffee shop, the sands looking for water, at what point didn't I remember? What parts didn't I remember?
Once it comes full circle,
okay.
then that final roll, coupled with the one you had at the beginning, kind of combines everything.
I'll tell them about the glass spires and the molten city, and then the one with the giant robotic animals eating metal rods.
And he doesn't flinch through all of it. He just kind of stands there with his hands clasped, kind of gently rubbing his hands back and forth. Not quite nervously, but just like, wow, that's some shit.
Pacifica does like cut in and follow up, and just all she says is, I feel like we're missing someone, though.
Yes, I feel the same. But I also feel as though I've gained so much. I can't explain it. I feel as though in another life, I never knew your mother. I never knew you. Again, I have theories. I have memories of voices speaking to me in my mind, driving me mad. I have memories of never growing up at all. I feel as though we are experiencing alternate possibilities, different realities. Who we could have been, what the world could have been, if things had been different, if something had changed. I know not how. I know not why. And at this point he kind of massages his temples a little and pulls the hood back, and you all see, except Ozzy, a mane of jet black hair kind of fall loosely to the shoulders, and from the forehead a stripe of blue kind of leads all the way back to his shoulders. And that is where we will take our break. We will be back.
My God.
We will be back in roughly.
I knew it.
Yeah, I know you did. I was like, damn it! Oh, let me get to the break.
Your dad is a villain.
Maybe.
I
Not.
knew it. I knew it.
So, oh man, this is fun. Yeah. So, thank you guys for watching up to this point. We were going to take a short intermission, about 15 minutes or so. And when we come back, we will continue this weird journey. Yeah. We'll see where it goes.
Oh my goodness.
So, let me go ahead and get the countdown thing started. So while I'm doing that, we will go ahead and sign off for a moment. See you guys here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Unmute. There we go. Oh, yes. Pain of my existence. Anyway. Alright. Welcome back, everyone. We're sans one Yannick, but I'm sure he'll be back soon.
Oh my
god! Oh my god.
Yeah, she's really upset Yannick isn't here.
Alright, so as we had just left off, Ozzy was
oh my
sneaking
god,
away.
D is replying.
Ozzy was sneaking away.
Ozzy was sneaking away.
And he, in the square, yells out in his best voice, I need everyone to know this life you're living right now is a lie. It's a lie. We're all living double lives. So please don't stop me.
You've gained the attention of a few passers-by, but most people are just like...
It sounds like you're admitting to an affair.
Yeah.
And I just start casting the cantrip poison spray on all the plants nearby, like any objects.
Alright.
Just destroying whatever I can. I'm not hitting people.
Oh, okay.
If anyone tries to hit me, I will then enlarge myself and just like start stomping around.
Okay.
So.
All right. So
my
that
brain
escalated quickly.
Yes.
So like every 6 seconds, the spray of poison is emanating from Ozzy, and the plants are dying rapidly around you. Some people do see this happening, and they're kind of rushing past, just trying to get away from the crazy halfling doing magic. And one of them, like a kind of an elderly guy, is like slowly hobbling out of the way, and some people do start yelling for guards, and yeah, you gather that the guards may be on their way, but as this is happening, the rest of you are sitting with Borel Evenwind. Or, well, you're all standing. He's sitting at this point.
Now, I was definitely in the darkest timeline. Close enough to see that this is the man that was spellcasted atop the twist.
Oh yeah, yeah. You all recognize him, and Pacifica, like, immediately, like that shock of blue hair just like sparks that memory of seeing the man atop the pillar of water, ripping a hole in the fabric of time and space.
You can see, as soon as the hair is revealed, Pacifica's face suddenly becomes very contorted, like furrowing her brows.
Do we have all our effects on us? All our personal effects?
Yep.
Like the book that I took that had his picture in the back of it?
Oh, yeah, I had honestly forgotten that you had taken that. You would not have that, actually.
But I do have my greatsword.
Yeah.
Which, as pretty much as soon as like the blue hair is revealed, like there's like a single heartbeat, and then the sword is out, and it swings round and like rests just next to Burrell's neck. And yeah, Barakiel looks at him and goes, "You destroyed the natural order of things. We were sent to find and stop you."
Maybe we can talk this out. Maybe we can get the answers that we're not able to get just fighting.
he kind of like sidelong glances at the sword resting on his shoulder, and I take it in another life I was not well liked.
I do not know how well liked. No, is you opened a portal to the elemental plane of water that started these events. You know more than you are letting on.
He kind of sighs. I was hoping that those memories were false.
So you have recollection of opening portals.
I remember flashes. I remember a voice. Ancient. Terrifying. Speaking to me, driving me mad. I remember others coming. I remember all those people. I remember.
So would you remember how to close said portal?
I no longer have that ability. It was given. I am not that man in this life. I do not want to be that man again. I know that we must set things as they were, but if we manage to do that, if we succeed, please do not destroy me. Give me to the druids. Give me to Tesselar. If I am to be executed, let it be at the hands of the woman I have loved in this life.
We could execute you now and save everybody a whole hell of a lot of time.
You could. And it is my fear that this will continue.
Yannick wants to make an insight check on his little speech there.
Okay.
16.
He's genuine.
I tell Barakiel and Celestial he's genuine in his convictions.
You can see remorse, pain, but a resoluteness to do what is right.
So Barakiel will say, you have memory of the other you that opened portals.
Yes.
Caused misery.
Yes.
Was it your doing or this otherworldly being's doing that sent us sprawling memories?
As far as I can surmise, these events are not connected. I know how it sounds when I say that this is coincidence. I understand that it seems far-fetched and that I am simply bargaining for my life. But I do not believe that these events are tied together. The entity that spoke to me had power and gave me power in another life. But I do not believe that it had this power. This is something else.
Barakiel, please just put the sword away. I know, but in this life, he's my father and he was good to me. In this life, it's good. Please put the sword away.
And while you're thinking this over, this entity that gave you this power, did you pray to this entity or did this entity come to you?
I discovered I have always had an affinity for water. It is where I feel comfortable. And in that life, I sought a way to learn about the elements and how to control the water and the denizens of the water. I sought knowledge and power, and I, at one time, sought out your mother, Pacifica. We did not agree. She sent me away. I was angry, and in my anger, I attempted for the first time to open a portal to the elemental plane of water. And when I gazed through the small hole that I had managed to create, the entity on the other side looked back.
Well, that's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse of expertise. Where's Lord Osborne? Osborne, did you... Oh, no.
At this point, you begin to hear shouts for guards coming from the outside the window and down. You think you're muted. Barakiel, I believe you are muted.
Sorry, I was saying I will sheath my sword.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
But they're shouting from outside.
Yep. Guards! Guards! There's a crazy happening in the square!
Pacifica goes and looks out the window.
I'm sure that's weird.
You see Ozzy just spraying this yellowish
At this point,
green.
I'm now casting Firebolt
Oh shit!
on anything flammable. I'm trying to wreck the Matrix.
Yeah, I will jump out of the window.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will have you make a.
I can see Ozzy, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
tavern overlooks the square. Make either an acrobatics or athletics to catch yourself as you land. It's not a large jump, but we'll just
24.
Oh yeah, no problem. No damage taken. You just kind of
Jump out of the window, superhero
of
landing.
course.
Walk up to Ozzy, maybe he's a stray firebolt comes, and I just slap it with a gauntleted fist out of the air, and just go up, pick him up like an unruly child, and shake him.
No, don't touch me. Don't touch
Nope,
me.
it's happening. I'm gonna pick you up and shake you.
Oh, I'm gonna. What do you want me to roll? What do you want me to roll?
What?
Either dexterity.
Okay, so you're trying to avoid the grapple. Yep.
Actually, you know what? I warned him. I warned him not to touch me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Misty Step.
Okay.
With one of my level 2 spells.
Roll.
And since I already did Tides of Chaos.
Oh
Okay,
boy. Oh god.
82.
Oh god.
I get to take one additional action immediately.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I Misty Stepped onto a market top. I'm standing on it 30 feet away on a stall. And I pull down my pants and I say, and I show my butt and I say, "Don't you touch me." And that's my second action.
What was your first action? Because you get 2
Misty
actions.
Stepping.
That's a bonus action.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, that was a bonus action?
Yeah.
Okay.
Misty Step's a bonus action. Good call.
Well. Ooh.
You could shoot another firebolt.
Pacifica's just watching in horror.
Okay. I need you to roll. I need you to roll a DC spell save against 14, or you're going to be reduced to my size.
Con save.
The con save.
All right.
I failed, so now it says.
Oh shit!
Okay, I roll my wild magic. No wild magic happens. And I just start laughing. And I go,
Oh no! Sorry, you can't do that.
Because what?
You can only use spells that are cantrips. You can't use spells.
Oh, okay. Well, then I just use firebolt, and I start setting more things on fire.
Okay. So you're not firing at Barakiel. You're just
not firing at Barakiel.
Still, yeah. At this point,
would
like
be funny if
stalls
you reduced
and
me.
buildings are starting to catch fire, and the people inside are starting to scream.
How far away is Ozzy?
At this point, you guys have
are.
exited the tavern. He's maybe 30 feet away. Like, he's in the square. It's not far from the tavern.
Hold up my holy symbol and cast Hold Person.
All right. Make that save.
All right.
Inter-party conflict.
That's a spell save. Which one?
Wisdom.
Wisdom? Okay.
14.
I'm gonna use Tides of Chaos.
Oh, man.
Okay. I don't need to roll second time, but I still used it because I declared it. I rolled a 15.
You've succeeded.
All right.
So,
you feel...
like, no!
And
You are all in on this. You're all reptiles or some other... This is not okay.
Okay.
Make this reality stop.
So I'll look at the blue-haired guy and I'll be like, this is just a thing these guys do. They'll be fine. Don't worry about that.
There's fire.
It's fine. Trust me. It's happened before.
Who
In
are
another
you?
life.
Okay.
So how do we fix this? Where do we proceed from here?
Oh,
and how do we fix this?
I'm gonna stop Lord Osborne being able to perceive any of this. Don't worry.
So you're asking him like how this can be stopped?
Where do we proceed and how do we fix this? How do we set this right? Make it quick because the town's about to burn down.
Indeed. As far as I can tell, we're experiencing alternate realities. So, this will keep happening until we stop it. So, if it happens again, try to remember. Even now, try to remember if there was a central figure. Is there someone who is always present within these memories, these lifetimes, regardless of where you are? Is there a common area that we are thrust into? Is there a common theme? Anything that they have in common that would lead us to an answer.
And I dive out the window.
All right. Make an acrobatics check.
Oh, that should be fairly easy. Hang on 1 sec. Bring that sucker up. That is a 20. Not natural, but a 20.
Okay. Yep, you land. No problem. No damage. And are free to do as you see fit.
Ozzy's on the rooftop.
Yeah, it's like a 10.
I'm on a market stall.
Yeah, it's like a 10-foot high market stall.
I'm going stealth mode to see if I can sneak up behind him.
All right, make your stealth roll, please.
Let's see, where's it at? 21.
Okay, so you kind of skitter across the street and duck into an alleyway and begin making your way. It'll take you a few seconds to reach him. During this time, Borel kind of grabs your hand, Pacifica. Whatever happens, just know, in this life, I loved you. In any...
Pacifica's
a mess. Yeah.
crying. She starts crying.
And if you can, if this happens again, find me. We will remember together. And he lets go of your hand and also jumps out the window.
And lands on his face.
Yeah. When he lands, you hear kind of a ah, kind of twists his ankle a little. But he starts to run over to the buildings and begins pulling water out of the air and putting out the fires around the buildings and the stalls.
Didn't he say he couldn't do that? Or did I misunderstand?
I mean, he can still do.
He can still do druidy shit.
Oh, okay, all right.
Just like apparently the broadcast just ended.
Oh, what?
Oh, it looks like it's back.
Oh,
Mm,
that's really weird.
sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't know why that happened. Thanks, Twitch. I don't know how much of it dropped.
Yeah, it's back now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what dropped.
It's hard to keep track of everything at once.
So
Well,
I'm gonna say Pacifica.
Mhm.
Instead of jumping out the window, actually use the staircase and goes outside, and she's going to use create or destroy water to make it rain in the 30-foot sphere around the town square.
okay. So, assisting Borel with dousing the flames, a light rain begins to come down and help put out the fires. Ozzy, you are seeing the fruits of your labor being doused by 2 druids, one of which you're pretty sure is a bad guy. It's can't remember. I don't know. You are muted. Ozzy,
Still muted.
You're muted.
This is insane. Reality is a lie. Don't eat the bad weed. Ah!
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
This time I'll be like, leave me alone, and I cast reduce on myself. I allow it, and I am now tiny.
Okay. As you kind of put your hand to your
that's
chest.
wild magic has to happen again.
Hold on. All right,
Okay.
you go ahead and roll for the wild magic. Yeah. Go
Okay.
ahead and do that. Oh boy.
Yeah, she's singing Pokemon. Okay, well, this is poignant.
Oh, boy.
I cast confusion centered on myself.
Oh boy.
So what's changed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
But now it's
as
centered on me, so I'm gonna figure that out. Go ahead.
No, as you cast the spell and you feel yourself begin to shrink, the rest of you are watching like the raindrops falling down, and in a very like Matrix style fashion, the rain begins to slow. You all feel you're being pulled in every direction at once.
Can I yell something out as this is happening?
Yeah.
I'm going to yell out, "Remember this,"
Okay.
to everybody.
You all hear kind of a, remember this, as even the sound is kind of distorted and slowed, but you all hear it and understand it as the raindrops stop and are suspended in air. You feel yourself being pulled. Your vision darkens once again, and it is silent, weightless, void, nothing. It's been a long day of work. You're all sitting on your favorite couch in your favorite cafe. Gormer is not present. It's been a long day of work. He had to work late. It's been tough for him these past few weeks trying to get situated with the new wife and the kid. But he's been helping out with Pacifica's charity. He's doing well, but he'll try to make it later if he can. And sorry, I just saw Quentin over there with us. Like, I was very curious. I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw with advantage, please.
$20.
19.
Oh, Jesus.
22.
Nice.
13.
Okay.
23.
Nice. Apropos to the wild magic that was cast in that brief second, Ozzy's a little confused. Looks a little like kind of shaking it off. You guys, the rest of you, immediately are like, "Oh, this is very familiar." And once again, the sensation of living hundreds of lives is just rushing through your brain, but you distinctly remember this coffee shop, this exact same way of seating arrangement, this order being called out behind the counter, the waitress coming, or server coming over towards you with a tray and the book.
Out of character,
Mm-hmm.
is this the same exact moment we were in before?
Yep.
Or a different time? This is the same exact.
Yep. Exactly the same.
So the waitress is coming towards us?
Yeah.
Barrakill
I'm going to say stop to the waitress. Stop right there.
Barrakill will immediately stand.
Pacifica moves her dog.
Why they
and
allowed
shout,
dogs in here anyway?
"We have to find Gorma!" And immediately pull out his phone and start calling Gorma.
It goes to voicemail. But
Do I know?
You hear Gormer's voice. Like, hey, this is Gormer. You can't come to the phone right now. Leave your name and number. I'll get back to you. He sounds a little different, but it's a phone.
Gorma, this is important. Where are you now? And then hang up.
Okay.
Pacifica also calls Gormer.
You get the same message.
Hey, this is Gorma.
Yeah.
Hi, Gormer. This is your nicer friend calling you to say, please call us back.
Yannick.
Ozzy.
I text
Kinda stands
911
up.
to Gorman.
Okay. Yannick, as you're texting this, your phone dings. It's a text message. Your tenure has come in. You are officially a tenured philosophy professor at the local college.
Okay.
I don't teach philosophy.
But you
You do now.
No. Well, kinda.
Yeah.
I'm really more concerned about Gormer. This is nice. Where's Gormer? And we've all done this before.
Ozzy stands up and says, I know what we have to do.
No.
We all
No.
have to walk into traffic. And if we get we die,
Just like, how tall is?
Oh,
I am a short man. I am
you're all exactly the same race that you have always been. It's normal. The only thing different is that Barakiel, you do not wear a mask. You do not glow. And if you tried to reach for any kind of magic, you would find none.
Okay.
Would I be able to, for the feel of
The feel of your what?
my god?
Make a religion check. I'll say with advantage. Why not?
I think that's 20.
20. You focus, thinking back on that lifetime, and you feel something. It is a tenuous connection. There's no power associated with it currently, but the connection is there.
Yeah, I still think we should walk into traffic.
So Pacifica.
I'll pick up Ozzy by the
This
head.
is a running theme.
So Pacifica
Just like I
decides
can't run into traffic.
to check her phone to see if she has a father in this world.
I mean, you have memories of your father coming home late, working a late shift, worked very hard to give you and your mother a good life, especially after your mother passed. He kind of threw himself into his work, a little more distant, but still very much present. On your phone, you see pictures of you and him at a bar, having drinks, laughing, the familiar streak of blue striping down the top of his head. And yeah, you have very fond memories of your father.
So Pacifica just like holds up the picture on her phone and just kind of like points.
Do we all recognize it, right?
Yep. All
in several different forms?
Yes. Yeah.
So, and I recall the conversation I had with him back in the room where he said there's always one binding person to the whole thing.
Indeed.
So it seems to me, and I'll relay that information, I'll tell him about the conversation we had, and it seems to me that this gentleman is tied to every existence we've experienced throughout this.
Are you guys still inside the shop, by the way? Or in the cafe, rather?
You're muted.
I'm struggling against Barakiel trying to walk in traffic.
Barakiel's muted.
Oh, sorry, I was saying I'd probably be out on the street trying to call her, like each time it goes to voicemail.
Okay.
Try again.
Alright. Yannick, what are you doing?
So, we kind of were remembering everything. Is Ozzy, are you still in the...
Yeah, Barakiel's got me by the head, and I'm struggling. I'm like, let me go.
Okay.
I've got this figured out. We just have to die.
I'll be like holding him under an arm so he...
No. So we can kind of remember everything that we've done. So I know that he does, in one of these lives, that Ozzy was a sorcerer of some sort. Okay. I go up to him, and Brachiel's still holding him, and I get right into his face, and I just hold his head, and I just look at him right into his eyes and say, listen, I just need you to concentrate. I don't have the skills to figure this out, but I think you do. I can help. Just tell me what you need me to do. You just need to calm down. You just need to breathe a little bit and just trust us.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll work.
All
right.
So you all kind of...
Can I roll an Arcana check with Tides of Chaos?
Yes.
Okay.
And if I'm helping, does he get advantage?
Yeah, you could roll it without Tides of Chaos.
I rolled it with Tides of Chaos and got a 19.
Okay. All right. You stop for a second and focus, remembering, and your lucky deck that you keep in your back pocket, have ever since you were a kid. Not sure why. It just felt right. You've won many, many card games with this. Served you well over the years. You pull it out, and as you kind of flip through them, there is a very faint shimmer, and then it's gone. You try again, flipping the cards, and the cards kind of rise up out of your hands and flutter in the air. For just a brief moment, you think, yes! And then the cards slow, and then stop. You all feel yourselves pulled in every direction at once, a very familiar sensation at this point, and you know what's coming next. You lurch forward from the void, and you are standing on a sand dune. Very familiar expanse of land before you. Deserts with rolling dunes. Your magic kind of surges back into all of you now that you are aware of the absence that was there. It's like an old friend. And that's a really pretty dog in the background there, JJ. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Sorry. I love dogs. And once again, you know why you are here. You have the ancient relic in your hands, the grin, and you have been sent to scout for water.
Okay, question.
Yep.
We were sent here by our tribal leader, right?
Yep.
What does he look like?
It's a she.
What does she look like?
She is
Uh-huh.
is a very delicately but resiliently featured woman with a mane of once jet black hair with a single streak of blue that rides from the forehead to her shoulders.
So I'm going to look at them and be like, do you all remember? Do you remember?
You do. I'm not going to
Then
make you
I
roll
say
for it anymore.
Then I say,
I searched for the card deck on me.
It's there.
Oh shit!
I say, screw the water. We need to figure out what's going on here. Because, like I said before, there's a single entity that ties all this together, and it all comes back to somebody with a blue streak in their hair. We need to go back to this tribe and talk to that person.
I agree.
Do I have my mask on?
You do.
In which case, I will try and reach out to my god.
You feel it. It's as strong as it
Okay.
ever was.
Can I communicate with this angelic figure?
Okay. Let's see. Let's say make another religion check. We're gonna
Yeah,
give this a try.
Because I know, as an Asima, I have a connection
Right.
to my deity, but I got a 7 on my religion check.
Okay. You feel the presence, and it is familiar, as familiar as it can be. It's, rather alien in nature, even given your celestial heritage. And you feel acknowledgement greet you, but no direct communication. But it is there. There is power, and there is presence, as there has always been, and a sense of purpose. Though in this life, that purpose is somewhat different. It is more geared towards the protection of your family, of your clan. Yannick, you would feel much the same type of connection, but not direct contact.
Obviously, my deity, my angelic guide, is a being of law, much more than protection. So, do I feel like because I have memories of these other lives, so would I feel like the will of my deity is being perverted by the shifting scenario?
By Barakial standards of your previous life, yes, you would feel that way. In your current life, and it's like a kaleidoscope of memories, just all twisting around one another. Oops, sorry, but this is the way it's always been, but it's not. So thinking back on that previous life, yes, the entity that you know from that life is just slightly altered from the one that you currently serve. It's the same being, but it's not. Just like you are the same, but you're not. And you guys were headed back to, JJ lost his internet.
Oh.
Uh-oh. That's bad.
Oh no!
He's
Oh,
lost
no.
connection to his deity.
Death comes for us all now.
Oh, he's back. Yay.
There he is.
All right, that didn't take long. Thank goodness. That was about
Everyone
to be a
just
crisis.
died.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Everybody died.
Sorry.
Whole campaign is over. We're rolling up new characters now. Actually, no.
I was gone for 5 seconds. What happened?
Everyone is a turtle bard.
I cast.
Anyway,
I cast Fireball on myself. That's what happened.
okay.
No,
you didn't
But
say
what?
that loud.
I thought you were doing it. I was like, oh, he's trying to break the Matrix. Let's do it. No, so yeah, you guys were headed to the back to the the clan, correct?
Yes, to the village, wherever we're at.
Yeah.
We're still in the desert, right? I didn't miss that much of it.
Yes.
So I assume we know exactly where to
Yep.
get this person.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't take you long to get back to it, and it's kind of an underground bunker, and the entrance is concealed with sand. But you all have lived here your entire lives, so you know exactly where to kind of push away the sand to open the hatch, and there's a sound of air being released as you kind of open it up, and there's a ladder that leads down into the bunker.
I'll go down it.
Okay. Is everyone else following?
Yes.
Okay. So as you come to the bottom of the bunker and pull the hatch shut so that more sand and stuff can't come in, you follow very familiar narrow passageways that have been kind of haphazardly added on to this once cylindrical shape, and eventually come to a room that's slightly larger than everyone else's, and there you see your clan chief kind of sitting off to the side in a chair, hands steepled in front of her, with just a very intent look, the familiar blue streak running down. And you've all grown up with this woman. You know her as essentially a second mother. And as you all enter, she looks up, and there's a very brief hint of anger, and then it is immediately replaced with her eyes widening and kind of looking down at her hands. And she stands up. It's happened again, hasn't it?
I'll look and say, I've known you in at least 3 different lives now.
Yes.
And I get the feeling that you're the key to all of this.
Me?
In every life we've manifested, there's always been some person with a blue streak in their hair.
Well, in every one I've been in, you've been here. Does that make you suspect as well?
I'm not suspecting you of anything. I'm just saying you might be the key to all this.
And she's like, now, like, kind of starting to freak out. Little panicky, little.
Calm down. It's okay. We just need to be able to talk and try to figure out what's happening.
Yes.
Especially before the little guy starts throwing fireballs and shit.
Yeah.
I think I know what needs to happen. I think she needs to die.
We brought that up before, but was he there when he wasn't there when we had that conversation.
You might not be wrong.
I'm gonna pull Ozzy aside and be like, "Hey, Ozzy, quick aside, step aside."
Yeah.
So when we talked to this guy last at the Sea Spray Inn, not to be confused with the Seafoam Inn, he said that even if we killed him, this would continue to happening. For the time being, I implore you, please do not kill this person.
There's a thing that's in common, though.
Well, let me get through this first. Don't start slinging fireballs just yet. I've never steered you wrong. Just bear with me.
Okay. All right.
So I'll go back to the lady with the blue streak in her hair.
Okay. And she's kind of like, she's shaking a bit, but she seems to have calmed down slightly. Okay. What do we know? We know that I, in other forms, am always somehow connected to the lot of you. Every time?
Yes, and apparently water. Either lack of it or too much of it.
I don't remember seeing any of you in the most recent jump.
And what was that one?
That would be the cafe.
Well, in that world, I pulled up a picture of you. Because in that world, you're related to me.
And you're a dude.
Yes, I've discerned that this feels odd, but, you know, everything is odd, so we're gonna roll with it. I was related to you. How?
Well, in that world, I don't know the exact details because everything's just completely jumbled in my head right now, but you were like my father.
Was I a good father?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. In all the worlds so far that you have been my dad, you were good. At least I think.
Well,
there was one you were kind of a dick.
Well, there were a few where you were much of a dick.
You know Zyron.
You as well, tall one.
Hey.
He's always like that.
Is your... are our names? Am I Borel? That is my name. Stitch. Ozzy. Barakiel. Yannick. Pacifica. And Bjorn.
Bjorn Bark.
And Gormer. And
yes,
Gormer. Where's Gormer?
Gormer.
We should strip this person, find something. I bet it's on their body. Take her clothes. Take all of them.
I will happily disrobe.
I'll put my hand over Oz.
Did you say happily? Did you say
like,
happily?
By which I mean entire face.
I don't.
I'm sorry. I'm sidetracked.
We have no.
That's your dad, isn't it?
Notions here. At this point, you all begin to feel yourselves pulled. We're not going to narrate the whole thing, but you feel the same sensations of being thrust forward, and it's, again, brief flashes, one after the other, of the fire-devastated city, or landscape, the great glass ceilings in the air, and finally, once again, you are standing at the entrance to Sunport City. And standing before you is a familiar face. And he kind of looks out to all of you and smiles. A smile that's almost too wide for his face. It's unnerving. And this very short, human-looking man, balding on top, with a glorious handlebar mustache, kind of looks out to you all. Hello, weary travelers. What have you learned?
Who the hell is this?
This
the merchant.
is Oscar Brendlewood.
Oh, that's the guy we bought the tent from?
Indeed, the very same.
You can't have the
and
tent
not
back.
quite the same.
Well, some weird shit's gone down, Oscar.
He has to die. Maybe it's him.
You could certainly try.
So,
Dracula, you're good at this. Cut him down.
No, don't jump to that immediately.
So, what do you know of all this? You ask us, what have you learned? What should we have learned?
Well, if I give you the answer, then that defeats the point of the game.
This is a game?
But to me, to you, I'm sure it's been, to you, I'm sure it's been very traumatic.
The only thing I can tell you is that
he snaps his fingers,
alternate...
and Barakiel's sword vanishes.
So there's okay, you get another one. So the timeline's kind of been altered here. We've been thrown into numerous.
Has it?
Yes,
Oh,
Weird.
but there's always been one constant in the whole thing.
Indeed.
So there's always been a person with a blue streak in their hair.
Go
But there's
on.
also been another constant. There's always been one party member missing.
And
It's always been a cafe, a desert, a glass city, a molten city, a city with mechanical beasts eating metal rods.
that one's my favorite. All possibilities, all alternate paths for this world to take. Don't you see?
Why?
Why what?
Why is this happening?
Well, because I wanted to.
This is all you're doing?
Of course! Who else did you think this would be?
To what end?
Because it's fun! And because I figured you all could use some help.
Help with what? How is this helping?
Oh, so little, so small.
Is anything on fire here?
Nope.
Oh. And it is the Seafoam Inn, correct?
It is now the Seafoam Inn.
So what was your end game?
Well, I don't have an end game, really. I like to teach people lessons. It's fun, and it helps. I'm here to help.
Oh, he has to die.
No.
He snaps his
No.
fingers, and Barakiel, your sword reappears in its sheath. See? Helpful. No need for violence.
Okay, how is this going to help us with the situation with the portals? Are you trying to tell us
All right.
we don't...
I will break this down for you as simply as I can. You, a group of people, disparate origins, cast about to the winds. We're all brought together for a single purpose. This happens fairly often. However, the threads of fate have tied you together. You will continue after your current mission is complete. I've seen it. You've seen it, though you may not know it. You are all linked, and as you are linked to one another, I am linked to you. We will see each other again many, many times, and every time you will be delighted to see me, and I you. However, the current issue is one of importance not only to you and your world, but the cosmos itself. The two of you, Barakiel, Yannick, you speak to gods. You speak to beings that have taken it upon themselves to be called gods. Whether they are deserving of that title or not is neither here nor there. I existed before them. I will exist after them. I, in a way, helped create them. And so in a way I helped create all of you. Ungrateful though you may be for it. So, what does that have to do with our current situation, you ask? Unfortunately, in the other planes there are beings that have power to rival my own. Left alone, they're fine. They stay on their home turf, as some would call it, and I stay to mine. I stay here, helping and hindering as I see fit. But this individual, this Borel Evenwind, took it upon himself to attempt, through the influence of one such entity, to upset the balance. I drew all of you together to restore that balance. However, when we last met, I feel I don't make them often, but I feel that I did make a mistake in not giving you more information. It's enjoyable to travel around as, a simple merchant, but I feel that I should have given you some insight into the problem. You see, when I took you, the ritual that this even wind was finishing was very close to sundering the realms, the planes, as you call them. This portal would not have been able to be closed. Especially with the entity that I'm sure some of you saw on the other side attempting to break through. So, here is what I propose. I will give you another chance. I will give you the opportunity to stop what is going to happen before it does. In exchange, the same way I have been, by altering the very fabric of your reality. However, in exchange, I ask for something from each of you. You decide what it is. But it must be something valuable. Something that you care for. I do so love making deals.
I give him my severed finger that I defiled the tiefling woman.
Interesting. A worthy gift.
Yeah, don't smell it.
You were correct. And he snaps his fingers and it disappears. Anyone else? Oh, by the way. And he snaps his fingers and Gormer reappears.
What's up, buddy?
Gormer!
And he just... Yeah.
What were you doing with Gorma?
Oh, he and I were having a play date.
A play date?
Yes, he was teaching me songs. I was teaching him some more ancient songs. He's probably forgotten most of them. Not enough space for information.
Are we going to remember this experience
Of course.
before I agree to this? We're
Of
going to
course.
remember the whole thing?
Of course. If you wish to. If you wish to have your memories wiped, I can do that as well.
I will. So it has to be something that is meaningful to us.
If you accept. Of course, I can always send you back right when I took you, and you can try to do things your way, but you will fail.
Brachial says whether I go back to the same place or not, I won't be wearing this, and he takes off his mask and passes it to the man.
Oh, shit.
God damn it, put it back on.
As the
Yeah.
light begins to radiate, Oscar kind of snaps his fingers, and it subsides. It's still a glow. There's very much a glow, but you find that you can control it. You can increase the intensity of it at will. You see, I take things and I give things. This is a powerful gift indeed. May I ask, why? You seem so attached.
I mean, part of me that I would burn you with radiant fire. Another part of me thinks that if my god sees fit to keep you here, then it must be for a reason.
Indeed.
I shall try things your way,
All right.
but know that fire can easily burn. And the eye pulses with light.
He kind of...
And yeah, you see since this is like your first time seeing Brachial's face, like he does only have one eye, and the other eye is like this like huge scar coming down from like forehead to lip. And he says, "I gave one eye to my god. I would give another to keep this world in peace."
And here I was hoping you had renounced, finally. But that would never happen. Alright. A worthy gift. And he kind of hefts it for a moment and snaps his fingers, and it disappears.
Yannick takes off the army field shovel he's had. He looks at it, spins it around a couple times, casts mending on the blade just to sharpen it up a little bit, and he hands it to him. It's just a tool.
Very fine. Not for the craftsmanship, that's rather shoddy, but the memories. Oh, the memories that are contained within this instrument. Oh, that will do. That will do. And it blinks out of existence.
So Pacifica pulls out from her things this small journal that she's kept, where she's recorded all the truth that has happened to her. And she just daintily holds that out, and she's like, I don't have a lot to offer, but there's just this.
It takes it and doesn't open it. A precious gift indeed. I will keep this. And he snaps his fingers, and it vanishes. And finally, turns to Ozzy.
And since it's Queenland, or Limeland, it's what I want to die to see.
I just kind of stare at him. Are you a demon?
I don't think so.
What are you? Really?
I feel the best...
Sorry, just a sec. I cast... The first time we met him, I cast Divine Sense. So I should know if he is a divine being, because they are celestials.
Doesn't seem to be a divine being.
I think he's out of your pay grade.
Well, I can sense people out of my pay grade. Just because I can't get... Just because, you know, they're better than... Like, more powerful doesn't mean I can't sense them. Like, so he's not celestial, he's not fiendish.
Not that you can sense. Yay, homebrew!
Do you really need to sense that this dude is divine as fuck?
Oh, divine.
Well, he's not divine.
Divine. No. I would not call myself divine. I am... to put it in terms that you could comprehend, I think the best word for it is primordial. Titan? Entity? Take your pick.
Anomaly.
Anomaly. That is a good word for me. Thank you. Yes.
Eldritch horror.
Possibly. Anomaly. I am an anomaly. I am here. I'm not the only one. As I've said, I'm not the only being like myself. Well, there's only one me, but there are others with similar origins. Truth be told, I don't know where I came from. But I know that I am here And I am there. And I am now. I am then. And
So, quick
I
question
am
for you.
waiting for the final offering. Your question, yes.
So, when we first met you, you had a whole bunch of stuff for sale.
Indeed.
Are we gonna run across you later and find our shit for sale?
Who knows? No, I will not sell your belongings. They will find themselves back where they belong in time. I don't keep material things.
Fair enough.
They will go where they are needed.
I can only imagine where a severed finger would be
You
needed.
never know.
I take off the ring of spell storing,
Mm-hmm.
and I take off the ring of feather fall,
Mm-hmm.
and a card floats them over. And I say, I rebuke you of everything. Take what you gave me. I want nothing from you.
Interesting. And he grabs the playing card, kind of looks it over, and snaps his fingers, and it disappears. Then the rings...
The playing card with the rings on it, or the rings stay?
The rings fall to the ground.
Shit.
That's a 51 card deck now.
Thank you all for your gifts. And now, my end of the bargain. Gormer has already given me the gift of song. A very special song. One that only he knows. And now I do. So, the circle is complete. The lesson has been learned. Not everything is as it seems. Not everyone is who they seem. And he snaps his fingers and vanishes. All around you, townspeople milling about, seemingly unaware of what has taken place, and you see a dark-clad individual, tall, walk to the center of Sunport Square, and he holds his hands aloft and begins moving them in kind of a circular pattern. And you guys see in the air a very small tear in the air begin to form. And before you stands Borel Evenwind, familiar, jet black hair under the hood, streak of blue, elven features, and it looks like he is attempting to cast for the first time this portal.
How far away is he?
He's within 60 feet. And you realize that while you still have the memories, they're quieter. You can recall them, but it takes a little effort. And you have been given an opportunity not only to stop something before it starts, but to possibly save someone. Every incarnation of Borel Evenwind kind of flashes in your mind, juxtaposed with this one.
Pacifica just screams his name.
And that is where we will end tonight's game.
It is lucky that I was muted because
Oh.
I tried to say I threw a
sorry.
javelin at him.
Thank God.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't even see it. That's really funny.
That's probably better.
Oh man, oh that was fun.
That was a crazy trip, man.
I told you it was gonna get weird.
That got weird. You kept your promise.
I love Oscar. I love Oscar.
That was.
Oh
Man.
thank you guys for sticking with it. I know it was weird, but
The coffee shop one, the very first time through. It was gone.
Yeah, I was just like trying to come up with weird alternate reality stuff, and I was like, oh, that one's fun.
That was
all right.
wow.
Yeah, I was picking up on the Central Perk vibe too. I was like, oh, this is Friends, an episode of Friends.
Yeah. All right. So thank you guys for coming with us on this weird journey for tonight's session. Hopefully we will have DeForest back with us soon. And there'll be social media updates about next week's episode and what's going on there. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you guys next time. Until then, keep it friendly, folks. Good night.
Good night.